Okie doke, folks. This is something that I'm really excited for. So today I'm going to be covering the Darkly Dreaming Predator from, I believe... Oh god, maybe Jordan. I don't know. I actually don't know where this is. I'm really excited about it, though, so let's go ahead and just jump into it.
This is Predator Raw. We're in Greenville, Ohio, which is in Dark County.
Okay, so this is basically our first our first sighting of Nathan here. So he's got his hands in his pockets, and before he walks in, he wipes his feet, which is very courteous and an interesting thing. I wipe my feet when I go into someone's home, like I wipe my shoes, if they don't have me take them off before I get in their house. Obviously, this is not something that I do recently with COVID, but you know. It's good practice to have. But it's interesting to me that he does this, and he's still so nervous. Like, he's got his hands in his pockets, his shoulders are kind of slumped, and we see he's kind of looking around. And I don't know if this is he's looking around to, check where the things are, if he's checking for the decoy's location, or if he's looking for like parents or cops, or if he's just impressed with like the size of the house and the design of the interior, because that's a huge house. It could be all of it, all of the above.
Hey, Nathan?
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting because he's got.
I just got the crap out of my toe. I'm getting a bit.
He's got his head cocked. So he's got an ear out and listening. So I think he is trying to locate the host. I'm gonna say, or the decoy, and that's very interesting because that shows. That's what we do when we're. Oh, sorry. That's what we do when we show that we're listening. Like we're actually paying attention and we're like processing everything that the other person is saying. So he's already just like on the lookout, trying to be very, very aware.
Band-Aid, hold up the kitchen counter for a second, okay?
Would you do me a favor and just go have a seat right in the
Do you think... Okay, let's kind of...
alone.
I'll be right back down.
Would you do me a favor and just go have a seat right in the
Chris made eye contact? Chris...
And take your hands out of your pockets for me.
Strategically placed armoire.
As a potential predator walks in, there's a whole other investigation. And take your hands out of your...
So Chris already asks him, hey, take your hand out of your pockets. And I hope that when I edit this, it's a little bit more cohesive, because I'm trying to cut out the parts where Chris is like a talking head, because those parts I don't think are pertinent to my analysis, so I'm just going to edit those out. And hopefully have a little bit of fair use under my back.
Pockets for me. Go ahead, have a seat.
Oh, that's an interesting little gesture that Nathan does right there. He puts his hands out to show, like, look, I've got nothing. But he does it like he's presenting his nails for his mother to check for if they're clean or not. Like, is that, no? Okay, maybe no one else relates for that. But that's how it comes across to me.
As a potential predator walks in, there's a whole...
He just never takes his eyes off Chris. Even when he's, like, zoning out.
What are you doing here? Came to visit somebody?
Who did you come to visit?
Katie?
Katie. How old is Katie?
2, 3, 4, 5.
13.
13.
So I'm counting that as 5 seconds because of when Nathan makes direct eye contact. So he looks away for 4 3/4 of a second. And my goodness, I'm just getting every notification on every device I've got. Sorry, folks. So he takes a good while, 4 3/4 seconds to think about what he's doing. He's looking up to his left, which is, I mean, if you try to do long division, that's pretty much where you're going to be looking. So he is trying to his brain is really trying to do its best, but it's not moving fast enough. Not fast enough for these folks. But he thought about trying to like make up a whole story, and he doesn't.
And how old are you?
23.
23.
Like he occasionally further on in the interview thinks about lying, thinks about making something up, but he doesn't. He's always honest, and I think here it's him assuming that, you know, because he doesn't have a record, there's no criminal history, and that he's cooperating with who he sees as the authority figure here, probably a cop, you know, in his mind. I think he's like, okay, if I just cooperate, I don't lie, I don't try to weasel my way out of it, I'm gonna get the lightest sentence possible, you know? I think that's what Nathan's game is here.
Do you see a problem with that?
And then another really long pause. It's about a 4-second reply to the "Do you see a problem with that?" And he doesn't lie about it, though. And I think right here he's feeling true shame. Shame is not guilt, though. There's a guy named... His first name's Greg. I can't recall his last name right now. Maybe I'll remember later to like put it on the screen or something. And he teaches interrogation tactics and everything, and he also teaches how to resist interrogation, all that wild shit. And he says something along the lines of shame is societal and guilt is moral. Like shame, you broke a societal rule, but with guilt, you broke an internal moral rule. And I think that really shows here. I don't think this is guilt. I think this is shame.
That's yes.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the problem that you see?
She's 13.
I mean, there seems little doubt as to what you wanted to do here, based upon the chat. You could stay up late, sleep in your dad's bed, try on his girlfriend's clothes, underwear included.
Oof, gosh, oh gosh. Before we jump into that stuff, I think it's interesting that he just said that she's 13, not that I was talking to a 13-year-old lewdly or explicitly. I don't know what the difference. Like, I guess explicitly, because he was like pretty explicit, as Chris is about to get into. And so, like, everybody that sex or does, like, online, whatever, if some third party came and read that, it would be weird. It would come across weird. It wouldn't come across like, oh, I totally get it, you know, unless you're in the mindset of this person is horny as shit, and they're like they're getting off, you know. That is the only thing I can excuse, you know, like, that it's the way he's typing, it's cringy. The fact that he thinks he's typing it to a child, disgusting. And it's like, I have not read his entire chat, okay, so I want to make that clear. I'm going from what Chris says here, and I think that Nathan has some kinks that I'm going to, I guess, sugarcoat and say are mostly, I'm assuming, for the rush of doing something taboo. I don't know if he's like a genuine, like, prepubescent pedophile kind of guy. Because later on, he admits to never having had a partner before, well, a girlfriend. Doesn't mean he's never had, like, a one-night stand, but assuming he's a virgin, assuming, you know, assuming a lot of things. Assuming is doing a lot of the heavy work here. It doesn't look good for my dude over here, is what I'm babbling at, long-windedly trying to get to. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Christ.
or run around the house nude.
Instant messaging allows for a way to talk differently.
Talk differently.
Okay, I can understand what Nathan is saying here quietly. The internet does kind of provide you with a veil of anonymity to an extent. And most people do not use that veil to talk sexually to minors. That's not an excuse, nor an explanation. You just thought you wouldn't get caught. And that's the sad part, is like, I don't think he's like actually feeling guilt. I think it's shame and about what he's not going to be able to do in the future. I don't think that there's any guilt at his actions at all.
You're not actually facing the person, so you don't have to deal with the embarrassment of saying those sort of things to their face.
So it doesn't bother you I am 13. No, it's cool. You get into very graphic detail about what you want to do to her.
Fantasies dreamed up online or in your mind. Things you might not be able to willingly do when it comes down to it.
Nathan Downhour.
Fucking Christ, dude. He was a theater kid, wasn't he? He was a fucking theater kid. Jesus Christ.
Well, after I remove your shirt and bra, I will run my hands along your body's smooth skin. I will gently cup and massage your soft breasts, kiss them, and run my tongue along them.
Gross. Oh, God, I hate hearing the chat. I appreciate that Chris throws it in their fucking faces because they're disgusting monsters, and that's a great tactic to get them to feel shame and be more cooperative. But I fucking hate listening to it. It makes my skin crawl.
And it goes on from there. In graphic detail. What are we to make of this? Now you have my heart pumping and my blood.
What was that little face he did? And maybe it was because he's like resting his face on his chin, but it looked like he was like sneering. Let's see. Oh, wrong button. Yeah. Maybe I'm just reading into it. It just looked like a tiny... I keep pushing the closed caption button when I need to click the speed button. Maybe I'm just reading into it. It looked like a little...
My heart pumping and my blood racing. I just remembered, please don't tell anyone that we might have sex, or if we do have sex, we would both be in a lot of trouble.
We would both be in a lot of trouble. That shit fucking pisses me off. It makes my blood fucking boil. I am a survivor of rape. I was raped as a child, raped as a teenager. And that shit is just... I know that's my particular trigger, but that shit's fucking sick. All of it's fucking sick. Like, that's just a way for him to try to fucking control this kid. This baby. God, and he keeps admitting he's wrong. Every single time Chris comes at him with, like, this was super fucking shitty, right? Nathan's like, yeah, really, it is. It's super fucking shitty, yep. And I did it, too. And I did that. Oops. You know.
I know it's wrong.
But
Look, he just fucking did it. He was like, I know it's wrong.
I want to tell you that I think it would be worth the risk. What should
it would be worth the risk. He's throwing away all of his freedoms. Every freedom he's ever had or ever could have, he is throwing away to rape a child. And trying to convince the child that this is worth throwing away all of their rights too, even though that's not the situation. You know? Like, holy shit, dude.
What happened to you?
I'm not sure. I don't know what the law says about this.
Well, it's illegal.
I don't know what the law says about this. Shut the fuck up. You have admitted at every fucking step up until this moment that it was wrong, that you knew it was wrong, that it was bad, and you did it anyway. I don't know what the law says about. Shut the fuck up.
But nothing has happened yet.
For someone to use the internet to solicit somebody who's 13 for sex.
I love how slow and deliberate Chris is with that, and a little paternal, and a little patronizing. But I dig that, you know. Like, in this situation, these guys get it. They deserve it, you know. They earn every fucking ounce of Chris's ire. But good Christ.
That I was unaware of.
You were unaware of.
Mm-hmm.
You said, like, I keep repeating myself because these guys are fucking idiots, I guess. But, like, he's already admitted at every possible turn he could that he knew what he was doing was wrong, that he was in the wrong, and that he did it, and that it was wrong. It's Cusco's poison. The poison for Cusco. Like, fuck.
Why would you think it would be lawful to do something like that?
It didn't catch my mind.
It didn't catch your mind that it would be wrong for you as a grown man to come into this home where you thought a 13-year-old girl was home alone after this sexually explicit conversation. The law...
He kind of looks like he's about to cry there. I hope he does. I don't think he does. I don't think he cries here just yet. Or at all, maybe. No, I don't think we have video footage of him crying.
Well, Nathan, there's something I gotta tell you. I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC, and we're doing a story about adults.
Oh, I love when they see the camera. There's a camera. I'm leaning into the mic too far. Sorry. There's a camera coming in either here or here, and back here, but he doesn't see that. But I love it. He saw. Oh my god! And he's like catatonic watching.
Who try to meet underage boys and girls for sex on the internet.
He is frozen.
If you have anything else that you'd like to tell me,
shut down. Completely shut down internally. System completely crashed. Got a reboot. Start the fuck over.
I'd be happy to hear it. If not, you're obviously free to walk out that door.
Thank you.
You're free to walk out that door. Thank you. Doesn't move a muscle. Because he's in shock. He's like, the system is starting to come back on. He's about to get up and go, but he just completely shut down.
Anything else you'd like to say?
No.
Okay. I finished my conversation with Nathan. He leaves.
And he had to kind of, like, Chris had to kind of push him out the door a little bit, like get the fuck out, buddy. You know, it's like when you give someone coffee after a party and they just have like 8 cups of coffee and you're like, I give you coffee to sober you up and get you out of my house. I didn't give you coffee to give you round 2.
Sheriffs arrest him. He's taken to this auxiliary building for the next step in the process, which is to be processed and ultimately interviewed by detectives.
When you got here, what was your plans for today? Were you coming to meet her?
When I came through the door...
God, okay, so as the video goes on and on, I just find myself, like, more and more irritated at Nathan here. Like, all the little nervous mannerisms are kind of making me mad, you know, like we all know that he's about to lie to the detectives. That, like, well, you know, like, that's him lying already. He's about to throw a story, a fucking made-up bullshit story.
I pretty much already reached a conclusion that this was something I couldn't go through with.
Okay, that's garbage. He's like, when I walked in, like, by the time I got to the door, I knew I couldn't fuck her. Like, liar.
I thought about the whole drive over
He's rocking back and forth, watch him.
here.
Literally self-soothing.
And So I figured I'd just tell her face to face that we could spend time together, watch a movie, whatever, but there wouldn't be anything beyond that.
He can't even say it. He can't even say, no, I wasn't gonna fuck the kid. You can't even say it out loud. He's just literally rocking himself back and forth, desperately trying to calm himself down to get his breathing back under control. And God, his nostrils are flaring, his cheek and his neck and his ears all red, his nose all red. Yeah, the blood it's pumping, folks. It's pumping.
What were your plans as far as what you guys were communicating?
Our plans as far as we were communicating, or as far as I was thinking at the moment, was a sexual activity.
Okay.
But the possible repercussions of actually doing it began to gnaw on my mind. I couldn't stop thinking about it. What would happen if I got...
And this one might be true. He might have had these thoughts. I wish those thoughts would have stopped him. If those thoughts would have stopped him, then he wouldn't have been in this situation. We wouldn't even know the man. I would have much preferred him to have not done that than to have done that.
Caught. I was caught.
Just my hot take.
The only thing he had on him was a pocket knife. Was there anything else in the car?
Under the left seat, there's a box of condoms unopened.
Under the left seat, the driver's seat? When I watched that last time, my brain just, auto-populated, no, that's the right seat, because I just assumed he put it under the passenger seat. I don't know why he'd put it under his own seat. But I also don't know why I'm assuming he would put it under the passenger seat. What did you assume? Where did you assume he stowed the condoms?
That was supposed to be for something different. I just never used them.
Do you have a girlfriend or anything?
Nope.
Nope. When's the last time you had a girlfriend?
Never.
Never?
Did you see him kind of tuck his chin there? He hit his neck. That is a very sensitive subject for him. And I kind of wonder, like I said earlier, if that means he's a virgin. Because I'm not saying it's an excuse, but there are some dudes that get desperate. And they'll fuck anyone or anything, just to get rid of their virginity. I almost said the I word. I don't know if it's allowed on YouTube or not, but they're involuntarily celibate. People, usually young men, that are virgins, never had sex before, and it gnaws at them. They're just... They think it makes them less of a man somehow, to be a virgin for, into your 20s, into your 30s, whatever. But, I don't know. I just, lots of things to think about.
Never.
Have sex?
No.
Never. So you have a box of condoms with you. You never had sex?
So he just admitted that he's a virgin.
Sex before. The whole plan was to have sex with this 13-year-old when you got here, correct?
That was the original plan.
At this point, you're going to be charged with unlawful sexual conduct, attempted unlawful sexual conduct with a minor.
What's the penalty?
It's a felony of the 4th degree.
And it goes on my record, correct? So I'm going to be tried for it?
Yeah.
Nathan spent an...
Damn, he was already like, am I going to trial? Yeah? Oh God. Well, because you gotta tell your family, yeah, no, that fucking ruins your life, dude. And he earned it. He deserved it. He talked to that child. So from what I understand, the decoys are not the first ones to send a message. They have their profile, they make it up, and the people will message them. They'll say, oh, BTW, I lied on my profile, I'm actually 13, are you okay with that? Most people, decent people, would say, no, are you kidding me? You can't be on here. This is a platform for adults. Because most social platforms, like just period social platforms, not dating sites or anything, have in their terms of service like an age requirement to join, and it's like 13 or 14. So those, they could join general forums, it could be fine, but if they're on the dating part or the chat part, they should not be there, and they should be reported to the moderators or whatever, you know. You shouldn't be like, yeah, that's okay, I'm into it. Like, that's fucking disgusting. But I'm not gonna really show the rest of it because it's just filler, like on the background of To Catch a Predator here, and then it talks about his sentencing, and he was sentenced to 35 days in jail with 24 months of probation. And I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not like super stoked it was such a short jail stay, but I also don't, you know, I think the prison industrial complex is fucking garbage. It's literally slave labor, and that's like a whole fucking diatribe. I could go on, but I won't because I'm trying to make this a somewhat shorter video than last time. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to me babble. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and like, subscribe. That's, you know, fun.